Hello, let's just adjust that, see if it'll stay for the night. Okay, welcome in, anybody joining. Let's hope that camera doesn't slip during the broadcast. Sometimes that happens. You can have a laugh when it does. Oh, hopefully it won't. So there's already a few people coming in. Liz Harris from up in Scotland, Nick Pope, Sandy Coombs from Cornwall, Melanie Marcus from California, Greenmud Grunewald, I think from, Germany, Jane Myatt, John King from up in Ardnamurchan, and Lynn will be with him, Mark Taft, Carol Matthews, local in Stroud, Mark from Leicester, Carol from Stroud. Lovely, and Fleur is watching from up in Cheltenham. She's much better. Those of you who are aware that she's not been well will be pleased to hear. So we're back, able to see each other out of lockdown. So this week, Sovereign Earth, number 40. Lovely to see people joining, and I feel warmed, heartened. How can I feel alone in this world when I'm blessed in this way? We all are coming together like this. So Sovereign Earth number 40, goodness gracious, and this is about the pool of unknowing. Now I say the pool of unknowing. Well, I'll tell you the story of the pool of unknowing in a minute or two. But I first just wanted to, literally about 5 or 10 minutes before we went live, I suddenly thought, I know there's something in the Tao Te Ching about not knowing. I remembered vaguely from many years ago. And so I quickly had a look, and it said, remembering this is 4th century BC. And we're not talking before Corona, we're talking before the Common Era. So it's ancient wisdom, and it says, not knowing is true knowledge. Presuming you know is a disease. Not knowing is true knowledge. Presuming you know is a disease. First realize that you are sick. Then you can move towards health. The master is her own physician. She has healed herself of all knowing. Thus, she is truly whole. Beautiful, yeah, just refreshing my own connection with the Tao Te Ching through that. Verse 71, that one. It reminded me of something a little more trivial from my school days. If anyone's watching who was at school with me, you might remember it too, except I can't use one of the words because it's not PC now. It was accepted in those days, but I'm going to substitute a word, you might, but it still works, I think. See the happy idiot. He doesn't give a damn. I wish I were an idiot. My God, perhaps I am. It's a little stronger than idiots, that's the only thing. But yeah, what do we know? How can we know? All right, so let's just invite us to close our eyes for a moment. Let's just close our eyes. Just adjust that. And sink into our bodies and with our breath. I love to say each breath a love note to ourselves. Each breath a love note to myself. Deep breath. And another love note to myself. And just in our mind's eye, just very simply taking our attention, if we can visualize being in the woods on a beautiful day, and there's a pool. There's a large pool. It's bigger than a pond, smaller than a lake, but it's a decent sized pool. And there's a rock by it. You can go and sit on it. And just gaze at the pool of unknowing. The pool of unknowing. just sitting with what is. And we'll share 3 breaths. Feeling the earth beneath our feet, a breath for the earth beneath us. Delighting in the beauty of the blue sky above us, a second breath. And marvelling at the water before us in the pool, but also in our bodies and in the seas, rivers, streams all around us. Deep breath for water. And we'll just share 3 Awens, R-U-N, the breath of inspiration, the breath of unknowing in a way. Deep breath and 3 Awens. Allowing yourself to delight in the not knowing as you sit by this pool. To luxuriate in not knowing. To allow ourselves just simply not to know. Okay, and just bringing our awareness gently back to the present, wherever you're sitting, wherever you're joining this circle from, back into what I've come to call the global grove. Here we are. And in a way, in the moment, I just see that as a focus, but it's okay. That could easily be a pool. And for the purposes of this next 25 minutes or whatever, let this be the pool of unknowing, which we're all gathered around. So a couple of, we'll explore it with a few reflections, personal reflections, a few snippets dropped in, and some songs before we sing the first song. Knowledge is too final. Not knowing helps you dream a little. I love that. Not knowing. Knowledge is too final. Yay. Suits me. Not knowing helps you dream a little. Maybe too much sometimes in my case. And the other one, because I'm always learning, the chief lesson remains. I know nothing. Turn it round. Because you're always learning, the chief lesson remains. You know nothing. So be it. And if this is the pool of unknowing, I'm going to drop these odd pebbles in, these thoughts and reflections, and just see where it takes us. I'm going to adjust the camera because it's just slipped a tiny bit, and it might again, but never mind, bear with. They'll be laughing at this point. Bear with, bear with. So we'll have a song. Because I just was listening to the birds singing just before you joined me, and what do they make of this time? They notice perhaps that there's not quite so much traffic around them and things have changed, but they get on with their lives. They know what's their knowledge extend to. Singing, making nests, bringing up their young, and a beautiful beingness. And this song is about, it's very much about animals, animal life, and animals are very much great models of not getting stuck in knowing. So here we go. A credit, I don't know who. Yeah, Maggie Moon. I credit this one too. She brought it from the States, I think. Can you soar like an eagle, flying in the sky? The sky, I can fly in the sky. Can you walk like a badger, treading on the earth? The earth, I can tread on the earth. Are you silent like the salmon, swimming in the sea? The sea, I can swim in the sea. Can you bellow like the stag, roaring at the sun? The sun, I can roar at the sun. Can you glow like a firefly, lighting up the night? The night, I can light up the night. Now, if this was the Friday session, we'd go on and sing that for several minutes. But it's just a taste, it's just to take us into this space of unknowing by this awareness of, yeah, can you soar like an eagle? Can you walk like a badger? Can you swim like the salmon? Can you roar like the stag? And can you glow like the firefly? So yeah, I wanted a song that would just open us up to the possibilities and the potential of not knowing. And I think that, yeah, it works as well as any. So here's a poem I wrote many years ago, but it comes into this pool of unknowing. See if you can see why. We turn the key, the clock to wind, then find time turns all humankind. For clocks turn us, and not us clocks. It's time to which we are in hock. We turn the key, the car, to fire, hoping that it will drive us far. And sure enough, since cars steer us, we're driven insane in the rush. We turn the key to log into computers which should be our tools, yet we're the tools in every way, for they drive humans every day. We turn the key, the lock to pick, hoping that it will do the trick, instead of which, we turn the key, the lock to pick, hoping that it will do the trick, instead of which in chains it leaves us, there's the hitch. The key we need cannot be seen. The lock and chains all lurk within. The way to open up the mind is love's acceptance, then we'll find. The way to open up the mind is love's acceptance, then we'll find. So acceptance is a key part of not knowing. And then Sovereign Earth number 9, one of the early ones, was all about acceptance. I think Pool of Unknowing has a lot to do also with space and silence. There's another Sovereign Earth on that. In fact, they're all up on YouTube now, thanks to Ali Shepherd, bless you, Ali. All Sovereign Earths available. JJ Middleway on Sovereign Earth. on YouTube. Easier to find, I hope. So there's this thing about acceptance as being key to not knowing. I can feel it in the energy we're sharing. There's a dropping in. It's dropping into the pool, isn't it? Dropping into more into the body, more into the heart. There's the serenity prayer goes with all this. Grant, O Spirit, grant, O God, grant, great mystery. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So I know that prayer. I have quite a few really good friends in AA, and that's one of their guiding aphorisms, one of their guiding mantras in a way. And it's a good one, yeah. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. And there's plenty of those. So why worry? Why worry? That's another song, never mind. Another time. Here's another song. Queen of Peace in the forest, Queen of Peace in the sea, Queen of Peace in the desert, Queen of Peace, speak to me. Queen of Peace in the forest, Queen of Peace in the sea, Queen of Peace in the desert, Queen of Peace, speak to me. Maria, Sophia, Maria, Sophia, Maria, Sophia, Maria, Sophia. Join in if you care to, if you know it. Queen of Peace in the forest, Queen of Peace in the sea, Queen of Peace in the desert, Queen of Peace, come to me. Queen of Peace in the forest, Queen of Peace in the sea, Queen of Peace in the desert, Queen of Peace, come to me. Maria, Sophia, Maria, Sophia, Maria, Sophia, Maria, Sophia. Once more together. Queen of Peace in the forest, Queen of Peace in the sea, Queen of Peace in the desert, Queen of Peace, come to me. Queen of Peace in the forest, Queen of Peace in the sea, Queen of Peace in the forest, in the desert, Queen of Peace, come to me. Maria, Sophia, Maria, Sophia, Maria, Sophia, Maria, Sophia. And I want to thank my daughter Casey for gifting me that song many years ago. Of course, Sophia in the song is the goddess of wisdom. I have a daughter called Sophie as well. But having mentioned two of them, I better mention the third, Naomi, and my son, Daniel. So I could go on, but I'll stop there. Now, yeah, we're living in these, I was going to say unprecedented, but I'm sure they're not unprecedented, but they are unprecedented in our lifetimes. These times are unprecedented in our experience, these particular times. And this is, we've all been kind of launched into or tipped into the pool of unknowing, whether we like it or not. And this global sort of tipping of the springboard and sliding us into the pool of unknowing, and here we all are making of it what we will. And what will we make of it? Who knows? We'll see. But I don't know, some of you may know we've been writing these short poems, haiflus, like haikus, 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. Somebody wrote a brilliant one last week. Jo Tatum is an authoress. She said, "The birds came back, and in their songs we heard tales of our stupidity." I love it. The birds came back, they have, and in their songs we heard tales of our stupidity. Yeah, and not knowing. We're so stupid we don't even realise we don't know. Yeah, well. So I want to tell you a story about, I'm part of a Druid Grove. I'm very fortunate, the Dabuni in Bristol. I've been part of that for over a quarter of a century. And I value that space and the people who are part of it very dearly. And we meet the Druids, we meet in various guises and forms. And as Druids, we meet in sometimes once a month, once every 6 weeks. We'll have a subject for debate and see where it takes us. And a couple of years ago, the subject was, what would I be prepared to give my life for? Not literally, but what's the thing that would motivate us? What would motivate me to give of myself to the extent I'd be prepared, if necessary, to possibly die for it, because it was that important. Now, of course, we explored and shared our tales of how we would defend our families, our loved ones, our children, our partners, our parents, our grandchildren. We also would, I think that extends to fighting, sort of honouring the tribe and looking after your neighbourhood. And then there was a debate about sacred activism, sort of giving of oneself for the earth, for the trees, in kind of what's happening with HS2 or what happened at Newbury, that sort of giving of oneself. This thus far and no further. But the place I ultimately found myself was I said that I would stop at a leadership or a society where I was not allowed to not know. So where not knowing was illegal or suppressed. Because any society that doesn't honour not knowing and puts on to its people a dogma or a belief system, then it's a dead society, or a dead-hearted society in my book. So it's interesting that I came to that place of not knowing being the key value that I would seek to maintain, seek to honour, seek to strive for. And I mentioned that poet, Jo Tatum. Because of that poet, I saw that, many forms have a section where it says, what's your religion, what's your faith, what's your belief. We get that in all sorts of situations where we're filling out forms. And she'd put complete faith in doubt. I love it. Complete faith in doubt. I think I might use that. What a lovely expression of your belief system. Complete faith in doubt. So this whole thing about not knowing, we've got all the apple blossom is out, and some of those will get fertilised by bees, some of them perhaps not, then some will start to grow and a wind will come along or a frost and nip them, and the barely formed apples will fall. A deer will come by and nibble a few off. The odd human might pick some, or a child just play and start throwing them at each other. Other animals and birds might peck or take. As the apples grow, they push for space, and some will fall off the tree. Strong wind might come and blow some. Something might come and take a chunk out. The point being, like all of us, is not knowing. None of us know what will happen. And those apples, they come into being, they flower, and there's a journey. And I suppose if they're fortunate, they reach maturity, and otherwise they pass on. And so do we. I suppose, yes, the interesting thing, the one thing we do know is that we will pass over, that we will die. That's the one thing we're guaranteed. And yet we live as if we are immortal. I think one of the Upanishads said that. The most amazing thing about people is that they're guaranteed to perish, but they live as if they never will. They live as if they will never will. So, and there's a lovely saying that's guided me over these last 15, 20 years. Love says I'm everything. Wisdom says I'm nothing. Between those two, my life flows freely. So wisdom says I'm nothing. But what a learning that is in life. What a learning. So we'll have another song in a moment, but before that, here's a couple of sayings. This one's from a guy called Chris Jamie. My confidence is that I may well be wrong on this or that. My confidence is that I may well be wrong on this or that. No man in this life should have to bear the burden of perfection. I'll say it for the woman as well. My confidence is that I may well be wrong or right. I may be wrong on this or that. No woman in this life should have to bear the burden of perfection. I've said it for man and woman. It's true for all of us. I like that one. Another one. Sign of a lover of wisdom is his delight in not running his mouth about things he doesn't know. That seems appropriate at the moment, doesn't it? A sign of a lover of wisdom is his delight in not running his mouth about things he doesn't know. I better not run my mouth, or I might have to wash it out with disinfectant. But the point being, how much more trustworthy and much more likely to be a good leader is someone who doesn't know. Someone who admits to not knowing. That's a sign of good leadership. The leader, the leader or the cult leader or the religious leader who says, this is the way. This, I know what the answer is. That is not the person to follow. That's a sure sign. And we're blessed at the moment with a rich harvest of people who seem to know. And therefore, we're blessed with a lot of lack of wisdom. May not knowing come to be seen not as vulnerability, not as stupidity, but as wisdom. Okay, let's have a song. No, before that, what time is it? So just bear with me. I'll prattle on and I lose my sense. Oh, it's already half an hour. Well, a few more minutes. I didn't know how long this would last. Let's take ourselves, I'll just sound the bell. Let's take ourselves back to that pool of unknowing that we visited at the start. If you can take yourself, just simply a deep breath. Back to the pool of unknowing. That pool, just sitting alongside it on a rock and looking out across the water to the pool. And we'll just have a minute of silence sitting by the pool of unknowing without expectation, just not knowing. So by the pool of unknowing, just staying there for a moment while I read you these words. Actually, I don't know about you, but I find it a very comforting place, a very peaceful sanctuary. I'm going to invite us all to consider the possibility of returning to the pool of unknowing in our imaginative spaces when we're fearful or lost or worrying, not knowing what to do. Come to the pool of not knowing and just sit by it and see what emerges, if anything. Eventually you might get the odd salmon or fish come up for a fly. You might get the odd duckling or moorhen emerge from the reeds to see what's going on. So just staying in that space for a moment, here's some words. The human mind and heart are unfathomable and unpredictable when we rest in not knowing and remain open to what is. We give ourselves and others the freedom to unfold and become, to say and do the unexpected. I'm going to read it once more. The human mind and heart are unfathomable and unpredictable. When we rest in not knowing and remain open to what is, we give ourselves and others the freedom to unfold and to become, to say and do the unexpected. Okay, so if we just bring ourselves back to our bodies and to our spaces and to our bums and feet and knees on the floor or on the chair, on the cushion. Welcome back. And I'm going to finish with a song. Yeah, the pool of unknowing as a tool, as a comfort, as an aid to navigating the path, of navigating the waters of life. I'd be interested to know if some of you would put up how comfortable are you in with the pool of unknowing, what comes up for you in that space, what's the essence of your experience of not knowing. I want to just read you one more. To respect a mystery is to make way for the answer. To respect a mystery is to make way for the answer. That's what we're doing in a way. Respect the mystery and the unknowing, and the answer emerges of its own accord, its own volition. I step into the flow and then I let it go. I open my mind, my heart and my soul. I step into the flow and then I let it go. I open my mind, my heart and my soul. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. I open my mind, my heart and my soul. I open my mind, my heart and my soul. Together. I step into the flow and then I let it go. I open my mind, my heart and my soul. I step into the flow and then I let it go. I open my mind, my heart and my soul. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. I open my mind, my heart and my soul. I open my mind, my heart and my soul. Together, last time. I step into the flow, then I let it go. I open my mind, my heart and my soul. I step into the flow and then I let it go. I open my mind, my heart and my soul. I open my mind, my heart and my soul. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. I open my mind, my heart and my soul. I open my mind, my heart and my soul. I open my mind, my heart and my soul. I open my mind, my heart and my soul. And a last thought. People who don't know, people don't know that they don't know. People don't know that they don't know. Remember that before you hold it against them. Remember that before you hold it against them. It works the other way. It works for us too. We don't know when we don't know what we don't know. Anyway, you get the point. Okay, lovely to see you. Enjoy. Well, I can't see you, but I know you're there. Lovely. I'll read all the comments shortly when I've had a long drink. It's mint tea. From the garden. Beautiful. Love and blessings to you all. Beltane's coming up. There'll be a Sovereign Earth service Friday evening at 8. Yeah, join me for that if you care to. Lots of love, lots of blessings. Happy Beltane for what's coming. Bye now.